Hello there, I am Noah Densing, and I am taking the role right now as a composer, music composer, for a client's upcoming jewelry line. I'm going to tag the page right down in the description, and I hope you'll visit the page because the products look really, really interesting. There are 4 pieces that are going to be launched soon. So I was tasked to make 4 pieces of music to match each of the products, and I'm going to present them one by one from the calmest and to the most extravagant of the sounds, which may reflect the tone and backstory of each of the jewelry that you'll be seeing soon. Now, we should start with, again, the calmest, and this is entitled Reverie Grove. In order to capture this much emotion in the sound, and I still had to adhere to some budget, I am using a very amazing add-on called Free Berlin Orchestra by Orchestral Tools. For Reverie Grove, the imagery that the client wanted me to adhere to is more of like a very calm forest where you would just like to lay down and listen to the sounds of nature, especially if you're near a stream. And I'm also thinking of having this morning glow to the entire thing, which I think best it would be best to be shown through a slow piece. I'm thinking just slow tempo, like 76 beats per minute, and I'm keeping the C major scale because it's easier to write in that scale for me. The first thing I thought about when writing this piece is from the harp perspective. I wanted this to be mainly carried by the harp because we might have noticed that harps do have that very calm tone, even in more rigorous play styles. The harp still feels a little relaxing. So we're going to take advantage of that. I thought of the first notes to symbolize or to mimic this long breathing in and then a slow breathe out. You can hear it here. So from the the breathing, it then proceeds to go with this repeating set of notes. Then goes up, then another breathe out, and repeat. It's like a signal to count, and then last breathe in and breathe out. And then we'll have a glissando just for good measure. Get it? Music jokes. At first, I wanted to just keep it there. Just have the harp do all the things that I wanted the piece to do. But of course, it needs a little layering. But in order to not have the harp be overshadowed by other instruments, I made sure that they'll only have a strict rule of being accompaniment. The first thing that came to mind in layering this piece is the strings. The string section is such a universal tool for me, at least, that I can just use it for anything and it'll sound fuller. The piece would sound fuller. Because of that, I had to exercise restraint. Hence, playing these notes, they are just very long. They just follow legatos, just like this one. Then it swells up and pulls back a little bit, then push it. Just like that. I'm not sure how to describe this. Let's try. I started with just one violin, and then I think this is a second violin or a cello. No, it's a viola. But since this is a string ensemble, so I'm not really sure. Not really particularly knowledgeable with the intricacies of each instrument, but I do know it should sound a little bit like that. I introduced the cello and the double bass later on from the piece to then create this build up. So it started from one string to two strings, and then it goes with four strings that play pretty much the same note. These lower instruments play the same notes, just an octave apart, to have this thicker texture on the lower end of the frequencies. I had to also remind myself that these are just accompaniments. They just layer the music. So I just need to play the same notes from different octaves. I don't need to harmonize them. I mean, I could, but I risk taking the spotlight away from the harp. So let's not do that. And with the harp and the strings already written, it sounds like this. Very good, if I say so myself. Now, from that point, I was ready to export the entire thing and send it to the client. But then I realized I wanted a little oomph to the notes of the harp, and I didn't want to use the piano because it's a little too common. I settled with something that I did not think of at first, which is a vibraphone. The vibraphone for me is just the right amount of percussive while having these long, how to describe this, drone tones. I don't know music talk that much, but let me show you what I mean. See, the moment the vibraphone is hit, it has these ding 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 compared to the harp strings where they're a little softer when you're playing them. There's that. So if you play them together, just the harp and the vibraphone, see, there's a little more percussion in each of the notes. But of course, I needed to make sure that it won't clash again with the harp. So it just follows the notes of the harp. See? Just like that. And then again, to make sure the harp is the main part of the piece, it is the only one that uses the glissando. I first thought of using a marimba for this one, but then it was a little dull in a sense that just doesn't have the same ding ding with the vibraphone. I don't know how to describe. But you know what I mean. So when played all these instruments together, this is how it sounds. Yeah, it's pretty relaxing to me. So that was the first piece, which is Reverie Grove. On the next videos, I'm going to show you more of the pieces, the other three, and watch me yap about how the process came to be. I hope you like what you saw. Yeah. Well, see ya.